All right, let's talk about a skill that you're probably using every single day, maybe without even realizing it. We're going to be decoding what's called diagrammatic reasoning. It's basically the hidden logic behind everything from project plans to all those data dashboards we're staring at. And honestly, getting a handle on it can be a total game changer for your career. So let's dive in. Ever have one of those moments? You open a dashboard or a project plan, and it's just this sea of arrows, boxes, and symbols. It can feel like you're trying to read a foreign language, right? Well, the good news is you're definitely not alone, and there's a specific skill that's all about cutting through this exact kind of visual chaos.
Okay, so let's start with the basics. First things first, we're decoding visual logic. So what is this skill, really?
Now, what's really key here is that last part, independent of prior knowledge. See, this isn't about what you already know about a topic. It's a pure test of logic. Everything you need to solve the puzzle is right there in front of you. It's all about spotting the hidden rules and figuring out the pattern. So, when you're tackling one of these diagrams, you're not just staring at shapes. You're actually firing up your core problem-solving engine. You're using your analytical thinking, you're processing things logically, and you're using abstract reasoning, all at the same time. It's like a full cognitive workout for your brain.
Okay, so we've got a handle on what it is. But now for the big question. Why does this skill actually matter? Let's take this from theory and drop it right into the real world and see how it shows up in your day-to-day job.
So, picture this. You're looking at a process map for some new software. First, you'd use this skill to really analyze the workflow, how information moves from point A to B to C. Then, your brain spots something that just doesn't fit the pattern, an inconsistency. And because you spotted that, you can predict what's going to happen next because of that error. That is diagrammatic reasoning in action, and it saves a ton of time and prevents huge problems down the line. And because it's so practical, this skill is absolutely critical across a whole bunch of different fields. I mean, if your job involves understanding complex systems, managing projects, making sure quality is up to par, you are using diagrammatic reasoning every single day. It really is the secret language of getting work done efficiently in the modern world. All right, now let's make this a little more personal. A lot of you may have actually taken an assessment on this skill. So we're going to break down what those scores actually mean. And think of this not as some final judgment, but as a clear, practical guide for your own development. A roadmap, if you will.
And this is so important to remember. Your score isn't a label. It is not who you are. It's just a snapshot in time. It's a piece of data that gives you a starting point for improvement. It shows you where you are right now, and maybe more importantly, it helps you chart a course to where you want to go.
Let's start right at the beginning. If your score falls into that 0 to 25% range, let's talk about what that tells us, and more importantly, how you can use that information to really start growing.
A score here might mean that diagrams with a lot going on feel a bit overwhelming right now. But here's the good news. Your strength is a crystal clear baseline. That means you have massive potential to improve, and fast. The key is to just focus on the fundamentals. Start with simple diagrams that only have one rule. Just practice observing. Ask yourself, what's changing here? Is it the size? Is it the direction? Is it the position? Nailing that foundation is your ticket to making quick progress.
All right, let's move up the ladder a bit. If you scored somewhere between 25 and 50%, it shows you're definitely getting the hang of things, especially when the puzzles are pretty straightforward. So in this range, your strength is that you can handle simple patterns accurately. You see a clear rotation or a shape that flips, and you can follow it. The challenge comes when those patterns get layered, when 2 or 3 things are happening all at once. So your development area is to practice those multi-rule problems. Train yourself to ask, okay, what's the main rule here, before you start looking for the smaller ones.
Now we're getting into the 50 to 75% range. A score in this zone means you've got a really solid, confident ability in visual problem solving. You're pretty comfortable with this type of thinking.
Your strength is consistency. You can look at a process map or a flow chart and pretty confidently figure out what's going on. You're accurate, you're structured in your thinking. Now to get to that next level, the focus shifts to speed and efficiency. Can you keep that high accuracy when the clock is ticking and the diagrams are visually crowded? That's your next frontier.
And finally, let's look at the top tier, 75 to 100%. A score in this range means you have a highly developed, pretty advanced skill set. You're really operating at an expert level here.
If you're in this range, you are fast, you are accurate, and you can handle really abstract visual logic with ease. You see multiple rules all interacting at once, and you can predict the outcome with confidence.
But even at this level, there's always something to work on, right? The focus shifts to fine-tuning. It's about squeezing out that last little bit of efficiency on the most complex problems and just maintaining that peak performance consistently.
So, there you have it. We've defined the skill, we've seen why it's so important at work, and now you have a personal roadmap based on where you stand. This isn't just theory, it's a practical guide to making a key workplace skill even better. So the only question left is, what's your first step going to be?